Hi folks, it's Yasmin. Oh, a bit wonky there. Hello and welcome to today's live stream and the training that very nearly didn't happen because confession time. I had a bit of an issue this morning. If you like, I couldn't get the tech working. Baby was cribbing and really wanted to go to sleep. And when you're just not feeling it, I can see myself all pixel like that. Okay. Everything was just kind of going a little bit crazy for me this morning between the tech, between the baby, between my own headspace. And this was a really good lesson. And I think and I wanted to share this with you because it's a really great lesson for me as well. Because sometimes when things aren't going right and you keep pushing, it's exhausting. It really is exhausting. And so I kind of just went, right, okay, stop everything, down tools. And I did two of things I love to do that really helped me to get in a great space again. And literally in the last 10 minutes, I was doing that to try and just get my vibe back up again and to feel good. Because I think that's essentially what I'm always kind of working towards is that feeling good within. So the two things I did, I stuck a video on and danced around the room like a crazy person, and that was Justin Timberlake's what's the song? Can't get the feeling out of my body, whatever it is. I can feel it in my body, like that one. And then the other thing that I did was I did some tapping. I'm a big fan of EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques. And for the life of me, I recorded my podcast yesterday and I kept talking about EFT and I could not think what EFT stood for. Emotional Freedom Techniques. It's tapping. You tap on meridian points and, it helps to clear the energy that's in your body. Anyway, the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because I was not feeling like in a great headspace, and obviously, between the baby crying and the technology not working and really not feeling in a great place, I just thought, right, stop pushing and just take a breather. Because I think sometimes when you have limited time, like I'm thinking, oh God, I've got to go and pick up my daughter at 12 o'clock. There is that sense that you feel within you that, do you know what? You've got to keep going. And I just thought, no, just stop, take a breath. Okay. So I did my dancing and did my tapping and now I feel much better. And so I wanted to come and do this live stream because I really enjoy chatting with you. And for those of you that are watching live, be sure to say hello in the comments box below. I'd love to see who is on the line, or is on live. Sounds always strange. Anyway, so here's what I wanted to share with you because this is something that I feel really, really passionate about. Okay. I probably say that a lot, but anyway, I do feel passionate about it, so sod it. So I want to show you how you turn one offer into 3 streams of income. And what I mean by that is how you take one basic offer and then leverage yourself out in a way that creates healthy, abundant cash flows and revenues. And you know what? That you're not constantly on that hamster wheel, constantly creating new offers and new offers and new offers. Because what I wish I had known when I first started, there's a million and one things I wish I'd known, but that's another story. But I wish somebody had just said to me, pick one thing and then just build on that. Build a really solid foundation. Because that is what will help you to build traction and momentum in your business. And, take that one really solid offer and then, create that leverage product suite, if you like. And that's something that's it's really crucial because when you look at your business model and you look at how you get paid in your business, like what offers you make, I want you to look at that and think, okay, do I have a suite of products or do I just have a bit of a, mishmash of different things that I offer, maybe an hour session here, maybe a 90-minute session there. And is there a coherent strategy around the products that you're creating? Because the way that I look at it is, when you look at your audience, there's always going to be an audience that is looking for your high end. There's going to be people who are interested in your middle level offers. And then there's going to be people who are interested, but they're not sure whether they are 100% convinced by you. And so they buy your courses, your online courses, your lower level products. So something that is cheaper, maybe it is a one-off 1 hour session, for example. And so when you look at your product suite, I want you to be thinking about, do I have something at the lower level, middle level, and the higher level? Because you want to be attracting those people. Of course, you want to have people at your high end, but you're not going to have a lot of people at high end, okay? Because high end, by its very nature, is exclusive. And it's going to be priced appropriately. And there's a tiny proportion of your audience will always want the high end. And then you've got your middle, and then you've got your lower end. And when I talk about the concept of taking one offer and leveraging it like that, it suddenly makes a lot more sense, and it's actually a lot easier to do. And I think that this just takes away a lot of the craziness, because, you know, you feel like you have to constantly reinvent the wheel. So what does that look like really in reality? Like, how does that really play out for you? So let me give you, I suppose, okay, I'll take it step by step, okay? So I think it's super important to have a very, very simple business model, okay? When you have tiny time, when you have got limited time, you need a super simple business model, because you need to make the way that you get paid really easy and simple to understand. Because what you're doing then with the rest of your time is you're generating the leads, having the conversations to drive the sales. But if you have a ton of offers, then what happens is at the front end, you've got loads and loads of things going on to try and drive people to all the different things that you have for sale. Oh, and thank you for the like. I'm not sure who that is, but say hello in the comments box if you're watching. You know, and so what happens is you've got all of this activity trying to drive people to different offers, and you get burnt out unless it's like you've managed to automate everything. You know, it does get really crazy. Whereas if you have one simple offer, but you have different levels of that offer, then you're still talking about one thing. So I'll give you an example of where I see this done really well. Like, you know, I've got somebody who I really admire, Denise DePhil Thomas, Lucky Bitch, and she has her money boot camp, and that's her, I think it's $1,500. So it's, you know, it's a premium product, because it's an online course, it's priced that way. But then she also has her manifesting course, which I think is $200. And then everything else that she has is free. And I really like that because it's very simple. But here's what I really love about it, right? And there's probably lots of other people, but I can't think of anybody that comes straight top of my mind about why I really love that model. Because you talk about one thing. Or you have, as my one of my very, very first mentors said to me, you have a niche, or you have a pocket of your expertise, which is an inch wide and a mile deep. Mile deep, okay? And what that means is that you can just talk about that. And trust me, if you're worried that you're going to get boring and then you're going to have, what are you going to say and what are you going to talk about? Trust me, that is not a problem. That is not an issue. You are going to find tons to say. You're not going to get bored, and you're not going to bore your audience either, because I know that you've got so many different facets of what you do. And so you're going to have tons of content, and we'll talk about content creation another time. But what that means is that if you have the premium, the middle, and the lower end, and they're all geared to this kind of one basic offer, but you have obviously the three variants of that offer, what happens is that when you think about your content creation, when you think about whether you're creating videos or podcasts or blogs or live streams or whatever you do to create content, you're just talking about that one thing. Now, one of the things that I suppose my main focus is, you know, around leverage and how you create those big results with a tiny time. And a profitable business is so important in your business, because that really does, informs everything really about what you do in your business, you know, because if you haven't got healthy profits coming in, if you haven't got that healthy revenue, then, you know, everything else becomes really, really hard. And then, you know, you're sitting there spinning the wheel, and nothing's happening. So you're thinking, oh God, this is not worth it. So you really do need that cash flow coming in. And one of my favorite ways of doing that is creating high-end programs, because And I have tried a lot of different strategies. And this is why I suppose I feel like I'm a bit of an evangelist about this, because I've tried lots and lots and lots and lots of things. And nothing has created greater cash flow and a greater sense of fulfillment than when I'm actually doing the work that I really want to do. And that is at the high end level. Now, that's not to say that I don't really adore what I do at the lower level and the medium level, but they are variants of that one offer. So I know that some people will want to have, an experience of me, but they're not willing to, kind of invest at a high level just yet. And I'd be the same as well, because you kind of want to, dip your toe in. So somebody might buy my online course, one of my online courses like Effortless Productivity, or my Easy Email Course Creation Workshop, or my Webinars Made Easy program, okay? And then somebody might come and join the Momentum Circle, and, they might join at the silver level or the gold level or the diamond level. And then they might proceed to do a VIP day with me, or a half day VIP, or, work with me on some of my longer coaching packages. But here's the thing, right? Some people go straight to the premium, and some people will go through the different levels, and, they'll chop and change, or they might just go to one and then kind of go, yeah, I'm done. That's great. Thanks very much. But the thing is, what I'm talking about is the same stuff, as in leverage, as in having those healthy cash flows. I'm talking about how you can leverage your time through a high-end program, through, an online program, an online course. So there's a huge amount of, mileage, if you like, that I can generate for my content, but I'm still gearing people towards how to create that leverage business model. Now, Tiny Time Big Results is based on 4 principles of purpose, profit, productivity, and play. But I focus on profit first with my clients and my community, because when you get that piece sorted, honestly, you then don't make bad decisions that mean because you're chasing the money. You get to actually, not worry about the bills or think, oh God, what if the washing machine breaks down, because you have got that healthy cash flow. And yes, purpose is important, and productivity is important, and play is important as well. But if you are spinning the wheels like a mad woman, mad person, mad man, but your business model is faulty and it's broken, then no amount of productivity is going to help you to be really effective and profitable. And that's why I always focus on profit. So whenever I often get people saying to me, like, could you help me organize my time better? And, when I first started out, I did talk a lot about time management and productivity. And then I realized, actually, we're just starting at the wrong point. What we need to do is start looking at how you make money. And that's why my number one strategy for great cash flow boosts is the high-end program. Because there's a proportion of your audience that will be looking for the high end. They'll be looking for your premium product, the premium version of what you do. Okay. And so, and that's a great way of creating really healthy cash flows. Like, imagine if your goal was that you wanted to bring in 2K a month. Okay. And you organize, or you create a VIP experience, and it's 1K a pop. You sell 2, you've made your monthly goals, okay? Whereas if you're selling something for $100, you need to, get 20 sales to make that 2,000. Whereas here you're looking at 2 sales. And I know it sounds simplistic, and I hear this so much, like, oh, you just need this many clients and they pay this much. And, you always kind of think, okay, so what's the, where's the gap? What happens in the gap? So here I've got, this is the goal, and I want to get 5 clients paying me 1K each. Okay, so how do I, make that gap happen? How do I close that gap, rather? Then, that's the bit that always frustrates me, because it's so easy to say to somebody, oh, you could have 100K a year by doing this, this, and this. But how do you actually make that happen? And that, for me, is important. You have to have that overall strategy, but then you have to have the tactics. And that's something that I am, working with my clients in my 12-month package for profit program, because you got to close that gap. You got to close that gap, because there's no point in me just saying to you, oh, you could have a 50K a year, or you could have a 100K a year, or a 200K a year. You just need 10 clients at X amount of money. you need to know, well, how do I get those clients? How do I structure that program? How do I make that happen? So, and that's Package for Profit. So if you're interested in talking to me about that, I'm working with a very small number of people this year in a one-to-one capacity in this program. So if you are interested, I do have an early bird at the moment. And essentially what that Package for Profit program is going to do is we are going to create your high-end program, and we're going to excel that and get you fully booked. Okay. And what we're going to do then is we're going to take that program and take that offer and turn it into an online program that you can now reach out to more people. So imagine if you had a high-end program and you're selling it at 3K, and we created an online program and you're selling it at 1K, but you were able to get 10 people in. So now you're reaching more people and you're leveraging your time really powerfully. I love this model. It's so cool. And then what we do is we then move on to say, well, how do you create an online course that's going to be at a lower price point? So what essentially you end up with is you have your high end, your high end, your middle, and your low end. And that's your Package for Profit. And then do you know what, lovely? You just focus on those. You just talk about that. You talk about the topic. And of course, at the nub of it all is your offer. Well, what is the offer? And I know that this is probably, the bit that gets you struggling the most is like, well, how do I create a really juicy offer? And that's, I suppose, there's so many different facets to what makes a really irresistible offer. But here's my big tip for you, okay? Because I was having a conversation with somebody on Facebook, one of the Facebook groups the other day, and she was saying about how she wanted to, what the niche she was in, and, and it was, the scope was huge. It was huge. It was like parenting. And I just went, okay, well, that's too big. So the question that you need to be asking is, what is the problem that I'm going to be solving? And this is true for any offer that you create. So this is really a really useful tip for, any offers that you create, is always ask yourself that question of what problem am I solving for my clients? And the reason why I get you to kind of put that as the heart of your offer creation, if you like, is, get a really, really compelling, irresistible offer. And then it's so much easier to then create that high-end version, the medium and the low end. And that's something that I absolutely can help you with as well. And that's what we'd be doing in Package for Profit, because we want to make sure that we're not just taking, this isn't forgive the phrasing, but you're not taking a dud offer and it's a bit like I remember somebody saying that it's like you could take a turd, but if you just roll it in glitter, it's still a turd. So you want to have a really, really solid, sort of bad choice of words. You want to have a really great offer. So just keep asking yourself the question of like, what problem am I solving? Problem that I'm solving for my clients when I think about Package for Profit and how I work with my clients is, I'm helping you to create those consistent monthly cash flows and having that abundant business, having a profitable business when you're only working 20 hours a week or less. And that is really, you've got to be able to kind of bring it in and kind of make it really juicy. And here's the another top tip for you. If it's a big enough problem, then people will pay to solve that problem. If your problem that you identify, it kind of generates a response, it's just not going to build traction because it's got to feel urgent. And especially, and this is really important when you're creating a high-end program, is that people don't invest in something that they kind of just go, I can live with it. It's got to be something that's really, really, really desiring for them. That's something that they really want. Like I know when I'm working with people to create that high-end program that they really want a high-end program. They want a program that's going to help them to, create really healthy revenues. Not necessarily working long and hard, because that's the beauty of high-end program, is it allows you to leverage your time beautifully. Because with a high-end program, what you're not doing is selling your time. You're selling the value. And that's a really, really important mindset perspective. So let's do a quick recap, okay? Turning one offer into 3 streams of income. What essentially that means is that you end up with a really solid business model, business product suite. So you have your high end. I'm trying to remember where I'm putting my hands. You've got your high end, your medium, and your low end. Okay, so we start off with your high end program, get that sold, get fully booked, then turn that into an online program so that you can reach more people and you can really leverage your time, and that becomes your medium priced offer. And then what we do is we turn that into an online course that becomes a lower priced offer, so that you have got options to suit different budgets, and that you're catering to people. So it's kind of like if you're going into a car park and you've got different ramps going on to different levels. So, not everyone's going to want to come straight into your, your high-end program, and that's fine. So you have something to give them. But in the work that you and I would be doing together in Package for Profit, what would happen is that we would be focusing on the high end, because remember, you only need a small proportion of those people, so you don't need to appeal to everybody. You're just really going for that high end, the person who's really looking for the high end. And I had a thought in my head then, and I wanted to make sure that I said it. It's typical, I've forgotten what I wanted to say. And this is, it's going to really annoy me now. It's going to come to me when I come off the live stream. I've come off the training. Okay, so you end up with that really powerful product suite. You have the high end, the medium, and the low end. And to give you an example, that's what it was. I had a client who joined, this was a while ago, but it was like one of the fastest progressions I've ever seen. Was, she joined my membership club, which was a very, very low investment. It was like £10 a month. And within a week, she bought my £3,000 package. And it just showed me how powerful it is that when you do have those different levels, it allows people to be able to, it's all about increasing the know, like, and trust factor. And that trust factor is huge, because you got to show what you know what you're talking about. And like that, even though we start at the high end, that's okay. Remember, even if you wanted to sell a 3K package and you sold it to 5 people in the year, for example, just using conservative numbers here, like, that's still only 5 people. And you can find those people. Those people are looking for what you have. But right now, if you don't have a premium version of what you do, then you're leaving money on the table. Okay, so for those of you that are with me live, I'd love to hear your comments. Comment below. Do you have a high-end version of what you do? Do you have a medium version, like a medium price point and a lower price point? I'd love to hear from you. Don't be shy. If you have any questions about what I'm saying, or, you kind of, maybe you're feeling a bit shy now, come over to the Tiny Time Tribe Facebook group, because that's where, it's great to be able to connect with you there. It's easier, or if you have questions, just pop them below. I'll be sharing this in the Tiny Time Tribe group anyway. If you'd like to know more about Package for Profit, like I say, I do have an early bird at the moment, but just for the first 5 people. And I only have a very small number of spots this year. For the whole of this year, I only have a very, very small number of spots, because it's a 12-month immersion program where you're going to get one-to-ones with me. So you're going to have 2 VIP days spaced throughout the year. You're going to have 2 calls every month with me. You get gold level membership of the Momentum Circle. So not only do you get the one-to-one support from me, you also get the support of a tight-knit, loving, supportive community that is the Circle. And you're also going to get access to my full course library. And I'm sure there's other things as well. I can't think. You get email access to me as well. So this is a program where I'm going to help you close that gap. Okay. Close the gap of saying, "Ooh, I'm going to have a 50K year or 100K year." And then you're thinking, okay, I don't know how to do that, and that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to help you to create that strategy and then to be able to implement it, because that for me is really where the rubber hits the road. I want to be able to show you how to do that, and how to get your magic and your amazing brilliance out there, because that's what you're here for. And I don't want you waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, oh my God, how am I going to pay that bill? Or having any of those worries. I want you to feel abundant in your bank balance, in your the way that you live your life, in your time. And high-end programs are a really fantastic way to do that. So as you can see, I'm a bit evangelical about this. Now, what time are we on? Oh, crikey, it's nearly 12 o'clock. I've got to go and pick up little miss. I hope you've enjoyed the session today. If you do have any questions, then please pop them below, or feel free to come into the Tiny Time Tribe group. If you'd like to know more about Package for Profit, then please message me or email me at support@yasminvorajee.com. Or I'll also post a link to book a time in to chat with me to see if it's right for you, and I can give you more information. So I hope you've enjoyed this training today, and apologies for the technical issues, and I'm glad that I was able to get back into my high vibe place by listening to Justin Timberlake and doing a bit of tapping. All right, lovelies, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.